An actual, realistic, long-term price prediction for SHIB. $1, 10 cents, or 1 cent. Well, the end of 2021 flew right by, and welcome to the new year. I'm sure I speak for most of us when I say, good riddance to 2021. The year's been like a bad sequel to 2020, with much of the same rehashed problems, but none of the substance. Only one area of life on Earth this year has been really interesting or shown any real development, and that's in the cryptocurrency space, particularly the altcoin division, and within that, especially the activity of and surrounding Shiba Inu. With so many amazing projects on the horizon, as well as partnerships that are occurring, plenty of people have resorted to crazy things to try and predict what's going to be happening to their investments. So I thought it was time to get back to basics, be honest, and talk about the actual realistic long-term price predictions for Shiba Inu going into 2022. So, what are the realistic long-term price predictions for Shiba Inu next year? What's totally impossible? What's actually possible? And how can it be done? Well, I'm going to be answering all of these questions and more over the next few minutes, so make sure that you aren't going anywhere and subscribe to this channel. Turn the notifications on by ringing the bell, and make sure to check in to never miss a single piece of crucial crypto news. Of course, I'm not a professional financial advisor, and you should make sure that you stay vigilant, as there's always at least some type of risk involved with any type of investment. All done subscribing? Well, okay, let's jump right in. So I think it's pretty obvious that for most people, it's borderline impossible to predict with 100% accuracy exactly what's going to happen to the price, whether the dev team are going to be able to burn $1 trillion of the currency to stop inflation, or how people are going to react to the Yoshiverse and the Shiba Inu developments. Though most would say that these are great for the coin, just as many partnerships that have begun are. But if we're at least to follow the trends, we can begin to get an idea of what is really possible when it comes to our favorite doggy dollar, and what the future holds, at least in the next year. Many people are obsessed with the idea of whether or not they'll see SHIB hit 1 cent, 10 cents, or $1, or what have you in the next year. Well, if we're really looking at whether or not it's really likely to see Shiba Inu burn 2 or 3 zeros in the next year, I have to say that it's going to take almost a miracle, at least with the way that the coin is right now. The reality is that if you take a currency with a supply of over 500 trillion units, and make each of those units worth, let's say, 1 cent, you then have a market cap for that currency of over $5 trillion. It's quite simple. Just take a 5 and 14 zeros, then take off 2 zeros. You might have noticed this, but that would make Shiba Inu's market cap many times bigger than that of the current market cap of the industry overlord Bitcoin. Not that I want to burst any bubbles or rain on anybody's parade, but I think it's pretty unlikely that Shiba Inu is going to overtake Bitcoin and become the world's #1 cryptocurrency, even stomping on Ethereum, which is the network on which it runs. I mean, it's possible, but it would require some major, radical, cataclysmic decisions from the dev team. That kind of growth is going to be so difficult, it would be positively unheard of. Now, of course, if we come back down to earth, and you're still watching this, and by the way, thank you very much for sticking around, then let's talk about the possibility of removing just one of those zeros from the current Shiba Inu price. Now we're talking about something within the realms of possibility, maybe even probability. If SHIB is able to shave off one of those zeros, then all you're talking about at that point is something like a 10-fold increase in the value of the coin, which would lead to a $500 billion value overall, which is something that I think is much more likely, though still pretty unlikely. Let's remember that at the moment, the entire cryptocurrency space's market cap is only about $2 trillion at this time, which is another reason why SHIB would cause financial chaos if its market cap were actually to hit $5 trillion. So okay, enough with the pessimism. Let's talk about how they could actually go about this. I'm pretty sure by now that if you're watching my videos regularly, you're gonna know about things like the Yoshiverse. But a quick recap is in order. The development team behind Shiba Inu are currently engaged with celebrated game developer William Volk in the development of an NFT-based video game called the Yoshiverse, which revolves around NFTs called Shiboshis. Each of these Shiboshi NFTs can be purchased, and also, for a fee of $100, can be renamed by their owners. That's a very attractive proposition for someone looking to get involved in the Shiba Inu ecosystem and make passive income. But why am I bringing this up? Well, because $100, at least right now, is worth just under 3 million SHIB tokens, and there will be 10,000 of these Shiboshis available, at least at first when the game begins. Every time a person buys in and decides to name their Shiboshi NFT, 3 million SHIB will get sent to a burn wallet, removing it from circulation permanently. Now let's work that out. 10,000 times 3 million is, 30 billion. Yes, 30 billion. So, that means that if everyone who wants to get involved in the Yoshiverse opts to name their NFT, and I don't know why you wouldn't pick that option if you're an investor, then you have an immediate burn of 30 billion tokens. Okay, that's not a lot from the total of about 550 trillion. But it's a start, and it shows what the team are planning for the future. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, as many still wonder how many SHIB tokens are going to be burned in 2022. Well, in the last week alone, over 1 billion tokens were burned. Of course, even if that much was burned every week for the entire year of 2022, then you're still only looking at a burn of 52 billion tokens. Still a very low amount, and not likely to move the needle very much. However, I personally believe that with all the promotions and companies marketing via burning SHIB tokens, that we're going to see an exponential increase in the number of Shiba Inu tokens that are being burned over the next year. Now, this is not just because of the situations revolving the prices we've seen and their stability, but because the companies are on Twitter, and they can see you, SHIB Army. Companies like Robinhood, Newegg, Kraken, Gemini, Mover, and lots of others are getting involved in the Shiba Inu ecosystem. And you know as well as I do that if a company can see a groundswell of support for something like we currently have with SHIB, then they're going to want to do business with those people, and those people want tokens to burn. It needs to be acknowledged, of course, that what I'm talking about here is totally hypothetical, but it's also very possible. SHIB Army, you need to get these big corporations involved. You need to be the ones to tell them what they should be doing. That is, burning as many of these tokens as possible. This is because we all know that the only way we're going to see the price begin to shoot up to the dizzying heights that we all wanted to is to get trillions and trillions of SHIB tokens destroyed in the next 12 months. In that situation, we could begin to see some of these milestones appear on the horizon. Let's not forget about the upcoming AMA with the developers of Shiba Inu coin, where you can ask them all about their plans for the future. Another thing to consider is that there are still these major projects coming soon, like Shibarium, and its plans to beat Ethereum 2.0 to, well, being Ethereum 2.0. That's supposed to be coming in the next few months. There are also the various deals with other companies that will bring SHIB further and further into the limelight by the year's end. There's a lot to be excited about, and if you ask me, I expect that we can only hope to see the price of Shiba Inu rise over the next year overall. There are just simply too many good things coming for anything else here, in my opinion. But of course, it's impossible to say what the price will be in a year. But if you had invested $100 a year ago, you'd have about $40 million right now. That's certainly worth thinking of. So to summarize, the price will most likely rise over 2022, but for it to hit the kind of monumental growth that everyone is cheering for, 1 cent, 10 cents, that would require nothing short of the most gigantic burn of any single token in crypto history. Then we'll be getting somewhere. Well, my friends, I certainly hope you liked this more realistic approach. And if you did, leave a thumbs up. And in fact, why don't you go ahead and do something else for me as well? In the comment section, leave what your price prediction is for the end of 2022. And maybe at the end of 2022, we could revisit this video and the comment section and see who got the closest. And before you leave this page, why don't you go ahead and make sure, just double check to make sure that you subscribe to this channel and that you've rung that bell for notifications. That way you'll never miss a piece of valuable news that could majorly affect your finances in a positive way. Thanks for watching this video, guys, and we'll see you next time.